Nurse Mercy Mary, I have been hearing a lot about in vitro fertilization. I hear people saying it's an artificial method of giving birth. Nurse Mercy Mary, what is it all about? Can you help us make a video on in vitro fertilization? Can you give us alternative to get pregnant? Like how can a woman get pregnant outside the natural method of having sexual intercourse and getting pregnant? You know we are always here for you, so I am here to answer that today. Good day everyone, and welcome back to Nurses Lecture Room YouTube channel. My name is Mercy Mary, popularly known as a nurse with the difference, and I make learning easy and accessible for all my viewers. Today I'm going to be telling you a lot about in vitro fertilization, popularly known as IVF, and some people will call it artificial method of giving birth. Yes, artificial method of fertilization. So I'm going to be telling you what I know a lot about in vitro fertilization. I'm going to be telling you what it means, the steps involved in vitro fertilization. But before we go into details in today's class, if you are new on our YouTube channel, please please again click on the subscribe button. The next thing for you to do is to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our video. Let's go. Welcome back. Like I earlier said, today I'm going to be sharing with you IVF. Most people say it's artificial fertilization. Yeah, you're right. So IVF simply means in vitro fertilization. It simply means what? In vitro fertilization. But what is happening in IVF? IVF is simply a process where egg is being fertilized outside a woman's womb. Egg is being fertilized outside a woman's womb. We all know that in a natural method that we know, a man has sexual intercourse with the woman, releases the sperm swims to the egg gets fertilized, and the baby starts developing in the uterus. But in the case of IVF, what is happening is that the egg is being brought out, the sperm is made to fertilize the egg outside the uterus, outside the womb. So these things are not happening in utero, they are happening out of the uterus. Fertilization is taken done outside the woman's body. So that is what it means by IVF. Fertilization is not taking place inside the woman's body, but rather the egg is being removed from the woman, the sperm is being removed from the man. The sperm is being removed from the man, and fertilization takes place outside before the other steps are being taken into consideration. So, for those that have been asking about IVF, I hope you understand. Fertilization is done outside the woman. Fertilization does not take place in the fallopian tube of the woman, unlike the natural method that the sperm swim. This one, you take the egg from the woman, you take the sperm from the man, then you join them together outside the woman's body. So that is simple terms, that is what IVF is all about. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 steps involved in IVF. For those that are going to be doing IVF and they don't have idea about what it is, so I'm going to be sharing with you 5 steps involved in vitro fertilization. So the first step is the medication step. This is the medication step. Yeah, I call it the medication step. Why? Because during this process, the woman is given some medications that can help her to produce more eggs than she would have produced. The medications will help her to produce what? More eggs than she would have produced. So this is the first step, to help her produce a lot of eggs so that she will have more than enough eggs to fertilize for the baby to come in. So that's why most times you see women that did IVF, they usually get triplet, they usually get quadruplet, they usually get twins, because a lot of eggs are being stimulated. The woman at that moment is being stimulated to produce more eggs than normal. So that is the first step in IVF. Then that takes us to the second step. The second step is more like the egg retrieval. It's known as what? The egg retrieval or the egg harvesting. You're harvesting the egg now. You've stimulated the ovaries to produce the egg. So the next thing is to retrieve the egg, is to harvest the eggs. So when the egg have been produced, the second step is to what? Is to retrieve the egg, is to harvest the egg from the woman's body. And this is usually done through a minor surgery. It is usually done through a minor surgery. The woman is usually asleep during this surgery, and the egg is being retrieved, is being harvested transvaginally. So the first step is what? The first step is to stimulate the ovaries to produce enough egg, more than enough eggs. Then the second step is to retrieve these eggs that has been produced, is to harvest these eggs that has been produced. The woman at this particular moment is usually sedated, and the eggs are being retrieved transvaginally. Then the third step is the fertilization. The fertilization process. This is the steps where the sperm is fertilizing the egg, where they are going to fertilize the egg and the sperm in the lab. So it's in the lab that the fertilization is going to take place. They are going to join the sperm and the egg in the laboratory, and that is usually done by different fertilization techniques, such as intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection. So this fertilization takes place outside the body. So while the woman's egg is being retrieved from her body, the man's sperm is also being retrieved. Then fertilization is now going to take place in the laboratory. Then the fourth point is the embryo culture. The embryo culture, this is like they are monitoring it now. You know, when the fertilization takes place, it forms an embryo, they will start monitoring it. And this is usually done by an embryologist. The embryologist monitor the growth of the embryo. It takes time. It's to monitor it to see, oh, it multiplies from, you know, we have to, for those that are nurses and, you know, the blastocyte, they keep multiplying. From 2, it becomes 4. From 4, it becomes 8. It keeps multiplying. The embryologist monitor this growth for some period of time before it is being like, oh, it's not time for us to transfer. That will not take us to the fifth step, which is embryo transfer. And this embryo transfer, when the embryo is now like, it's not okay, they now move it from the lab, from the whole technique, they now move it into the woman's womb. So the first step is to what? The first step is medication, which stimulates a lot of eggs to be produced. The second step is the retrieval or the harvest. They remove the eggs that have been stimulated, the eggs that have been produced, they harvest it, they retrieve it. Then the third step is the fertilization, where the sperm and the egg meet and they are fertilized outside the woman's womb. They are fertilized in the lab. Then the fourth step now is the embryo culture, where the embryologist monitor the growth as it grows. Then the fifth step is the embryo transfer. When the embryo is being formed, it's now transferred into the woman's womb for further growth, so that it's implanted, so that a lot of things takes place. So these are the 5 steps involved in what? Involved in vitro fertilization. This is more or less like a basic class, so you have an idea of what IVF is all about. So this is like a lot entails for an IVF to be successful. Maybe as time goes on, I'm going to be sharing with you some other factors that entails for a successful in vitro fertilization. But one thing I want you to know is that in vitro fertilization has helped a lot of couples to give birth. It has helped a lot of couples to have children of their own. It has helped a lot of couples to become parents. So what I advise is that if you're having challenges giving birth and financially you are capable of paying for in vitro fertilization, please go for it as soon as you can, because the chances of getting it on the first try is usually on a higher side for younger women than those that are older, than those that are in their menopause. So if you know you're having challenges, you're having difficulties giving birth, and you have the financial capacity to do so, so I'm advising you to do so. It's still your child, it's still your DNA, it's still your blood, it is still your husband's sperm, it is still your egg. So if you have the financial capability to do so, go for it. And also for those asking, can a woman on her menopause give birth through IVF? It is also possible. They can actually call for an egg donor. An egg donor can donate egg that can help the fertilization process, that can help the woman conceive and have her own child. So it's not something you should be worried about. Is it painful? I actually met with someone that I've done an IVF before, and she was like, yes, you get some pain. It's a surgery. A lot of things have been going on. You are going to feel some pain, but I believe you, the pain is worth it. So there's some pain that are worth it, there's some pain that are not worth it. But this pain, when it comes to giving birth to a child, it's worth it, because I understand the dread of motherhood, especially those that have been looking for issues for years. It's very, very high when they give birth. So the pain is actually less compared to the joy you will achieve at the end. So IVF has helped a lot of people. So you can give it a try. You might be so lucky. A lot of people are very, very lucky, and they get it in the first start, and they have their own children, and they are living happily ever after. So with IVF, you can get 2 children, you can get 3 children once. You can even get 4 kids once on a stretch. So I think that's all I have. This is more or less like a summary, like an insight, little insight on what in vitro fertilization is all about. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to share with a friend if you got value. For all my returning subscribers, this is Miss Mary saying thank you. Bye, and see you in our next video.